Hi Doodle friends, can you believe we are in August 2020? I actually started my 2020 bullet journal in August of 2019, so that makes me a little bit nervous. I'm like, should I be working on my 2021 bullet journal? Should I start planning now? I should start looking into what bullet journal I want to use for 2021 at least. I don't know. Anyways, make sure you subscribe. I post videos every week, mainly bullet journal videos. I love this theme. I feel like I'm getting my Buju mojo back because I hated May, and then since then I feel like they're getting better and better. So hopefully this gives you some inspiration. Have a doodle-filled day. I'm so lame. First I'm gonna go over the supplies I used. Pretty basic stuff, an ink pad, some stamps. Of course you don't have to use stamps, but I got really into stamps lately, so I wanted to use as many as I could. A Pilot gold paint marker, a Micron size 08 Artist Loft, some Tombow dual brush pens, a Tombow small nibbed brush pen, a Faber-Castell brush pen. I've been liking this one lately. It is B. It's a medium size nib, not too small, not too big, a white paint marker, and some washi tape. And I printed out some graphics I found online to add to my bullet journal. This circle stencil and this grid I use for my calendar lines. It makes it really easy. I got it from Etsy from Ink by Jeng. And I just wanted to show you, this is how I keep all my printables. I like to print a bunch of random graphics out and I just use them in my bullet journal, and whatever I don't use I stick back in here, or I stick it in this little sleeve. It's really helpful. Alright, it is time to get into the video. Today we are lighting a candle with the intention of peace, because the front of the candle said peace. So we're gonna go with that. And I thought it'd be fun to say hi to my crystal friends since I had them next to me. I haven't really been working with crystals. So yeah. Alright, now that I've got my Zen on, we're gonna open my Archer and Olive B5. I like to use a bigger notebook, and I still feel like I don't have enough room in it sometimes, and I just wanted to show you that I do practice my colors before I put the pen to the paper. I was inspired by the Instagram account Crafting Witch. I stumbled upon her account lately and I love her feed. Like, everything that she creates is awesome. So she did this little mushroom. She works on Procreate, so it's a graphic, and I loved it so much I just had to recreate it in my bullet journal. So go check out her account. It's really cool. It's Crafting Witch, spelled correctly. I used my Micron 08 to outline everything, and then I fill it in with color. I don't really like the way it looks if you don't outline something in black first. It just makes it pop much more when you outline everything in black. So that's definitely my go-to. And I have this red from Tombow. It's a dual brush pen, and it was from I think it was called the Muted palette. It comes with really deep colors, and I really like this palette from Tombow because you can't get these colors with the Crayola Super Tips, and the black ended up being too dark, so I went over it with a white Jelly Roll gel pen and then realized that wasn't working either, so I went over it with a white paint marker, and then I used a Tombow dual brush pen, a very light tan, to fill in the bottom, and then I created a shadow on that right side with the same pen. I just went over it again to make it a little bit darker. So I wanted to make it a little bit my own instead of just copying exactly what the Crafting Witch did. So I added the moons on the bottom, an eye at the right corner. I don't think the eye was on hers. And then the little constellations on the left. But yeah, you can definitely tell it looks, I a lot like the Crafting Witches, so I'm definitely giving credit to her design. I used the gold Pilot paint marker. I love this paint marker so much because the ink never clogs, but you definitely need a very thick paper to use that marker because it is very inky and it will bleed if you don't have very thick paper. By the way, update on my pregnancy. I'm officially 20 weeks and I think I felt my first kick today, so that's really exciting. I went in with the gold, pregnancy brain. I can't remember anything today. Gold ink with a stamp. I got this stamp from Hobby Lobby and I love it because I love making like little splatters across the page, but I don't like taking the time to do it. So this stamp is just so perfect for that. And there is the cover page for August. Now we were on to, technically it's a quote page, but it's not a quote because this time I'm doing more kind of like a Book of Shadows page, I guess you could say. I'm just going over the magic of mushrooms and their healing properties. I really want to create a separate Book of Shadows journal just to have like my correspondences, like color correspondences, crystals, herbs, all that fun stuff, just separate from my bullet journal, because I think of this bullet journal as for the year. I'm not gonna really look at it next year, so I need just like something I could keep updating, maybe like a binder so I could move the pages around if I want to. So yeah, I want to start that soon. I used my Micron size 8 for some of this, and then a Faber-Castell for the mushrooms. I find that it's like the perfect thickness. It's not too small, it's not too thick. The pigment isn't as dark as like a Tombow Furunosuke. I just learned how to say Furunosuke. I watched a tutorial from the Happy Ever Crafter, and her guest worked with Tombow, and she told everyone that it's Furunosuke. I thought it was Furunosuke. So yeah, if you're wondering how to say Tombow Furunosuke, that is how you say it. I feel like adding the vines and the stars next to magic really made it more magical. I think adding stars and like leaves or vines to pretty much anything gives it a little magic twist. You can make anything look magical, I think. So I used the same colors. I don't really like to use too many colors throughout one theme of my bullet journal. I like everything to look put together. I regret a little bit putting the red into the mushrooms because it's a little bit dark. Maybe I would have done red mushrooms and then a black outline for the mushrooms. But I still really like how this came out, and I used the same tan that I used in the mushroom as the back of the ribbon. And then I went in with my Uniball white gel pen. It wasn't really working too much. I really need to get a new white gel pen. I actually ordered one this morning. I've been having such a hard time with white gel pens, even the white Jelly Roll, because I know the white Jelly Roll size 10 is the best. I'm actually not obsessed with Jelly Roll. I do really like their, the Shadow series. It's like the gold and silver shadow. Those are really inky and work really well, but I find all the other Jelly Rolls just dried out for me. And I was storing them vertically, but I looked online and they said that you can store them vertically. So I don't know. I'm gonna buy a new white gel pen and just make sure to store it horizontally. And yeah, I don't know. I've been looking for some new gel pens. I forgot the brand that I saw online. They were like so thick and inky, and I'm dying to get my hands on them, but I can't remember the name. All right, and I'm putting a piece of paper on the left side just so when I turn the page, it does not bleed to the next side, just in case, especially because I used some gold, a gold paint marker on that page. All right, we are on to the calendar. another month of not using washi tape for the calendar lines. And people always used to say, oh my gosh, you have so much patience for using washi tape for the calendar lines, but honestly it was so much faster than doing this. This took so long, especially because I was making spaces in between each box and I've never done that before, so I had to figure it out. But I do really like how this turns out. I love the little floating boxes. I use my Micron size 8. I love that one because it's just so thick, and because I have a bigger bullet journal, the B5, I can definitely get away with using thicker fine liners. I know if you have like an A5, you might like the size Micron 05 better. Then I just added some vines coming from the bottom. I just kept a consistent vine throughout the theme. I used the same kind of vines. I feel like this kind of turned out a little bit Christmassy. I would have been really happy if I did this theme during Christmas because it was green and red, and that's Christmas enough for me. I don't necessarily have to do like Christmas trees for Christmas, since I like to keep it a little bit witchy and magical, but I just had to make this mushroom theme this month. It was just on my mind for like a month and I just had to do it, and it turned out really good. So I definitely don't regret doing the red and green. Christmas in, oh no, it's not July, Christmas in August. I used the white tan as the background behind the numbers. I wanted to make sure it was a light background so I didn't have to use a white gel pen. I found the most cute little mushroom stamps, so I was so excited to use those this month. And then I found the perfect size stamp to put on the right side of this calendar page. If you watch my monthly videos, you know that I always like try to focus on a specific chakra each month, an essential oil, and chakra, essential oil, and crystal. So I always like to put that on the right side of my calendar page. So it was so nice just having these stamps to really help me not have to draw as much, because I'm scared to tell you guys, but I spent like 4 hours for this theme. So bullet journaling can take a lot of time. It doesn't have to take that long. I just wanted it to look really nice, so I took my time, and it was fun. It was therapeutic, but about halfway through, I definitely needed to take a break. The stamps were, I think, they were 30% off at Hobby Lobby, and I never really see the stamps on sale, so that was really exciting. So yeah, I got these few, and they weren't that pricey, and it saves a lot of time. So yeah, I'm definitely new to stamps. So as you can see on the right side at the bottom, I like pressed too hard on the stamp, so it made a line on the right side. And with stamps, I mean, they normally are pretty wonky because it's really hard to tell exactly like where to line them up. And then I had this leaf stamp, and I didn't like how it looked, so I added some splatters, which made it blend a little bit better. So I really like that I added the splatter stamp over the leaves because it just wasn't looking right. All right, we are on to the Moonchild page. I skipped this the last month or two, but I'm feeling back in my groove. I'm ready to manifest with the moon again. So like for the new moon, it's all about new beginnings. For the waning moon, it's about releasing. And for the full moon, it's about reflecting. So it just really helps me keep in line with my goals. And even if you don't really believe in manifesting with the moon, it's really good to just sit down and go over your goals every month, and then just have a routine of going over your goals, reflecting on them, and all that fun stuff. So I'm putting that back into my routine. And by the way, I've told you guys on Instagram, but I've been working on a printable bullet journal. Hopefully I can come up with a printed version as well, because I know not everyone has a printer. You could always like print it at an office supply store though. But I'm actually really proud of the printable bullet journal. I know a lot of people don't have time to create amazing bullet journal spreads, so it definitely saves time to have stuff pre-printed, but there's tons of room to color and add your own flair. So I've been working on it this past year, and I think maybe like another month. I kind of said that a month ago, but it just has to be perfect, and I ran into some issues that I have to fix. But I've definitely been back in the groove and just focusing on that so much. So I actually missed 1 or 2 Wednesdays of posting a video because I was working on that. I'm also gonna have a blog and my own website, and if you sign up for my email list, you automatically get a series of 5, at least 5 freebies. I've already created them and created emails, so I'm really excited about that. And they'll be like top secret freebies. I'm not gonna share them on YouTube or anything. It'll be just for email subscribers. I found these pictures online, so I just printed them out. I always end up printing way too many. Like, there's no way all of these would have fit in my bullet journal for this month. So there's like at least 20 images, and I ended up using about 5 or 6. But I just like having options, and I don't know what I want at the time until I'm actually journaling and seeing how it's gonna fit in my journal. So I just kind of messed around with it and moved them around and realized less was more in this case, so I kept it kind of minimal. I made an intentions envelope. I'm gonna try to include that every month because I bought the envelope specifically for that. So for the new moon, I'll put my intentions inside here, or you could just put your monthly intentions. So the first of the month, you could have your monthly intentions and put it in that little envelope. These envelopes are actually meant for gift cards. I found them on Amazon, and it is hard to keep them shut. It has washi tape on the front, but I actually did glue it shut with the Ad Tech Crafters tape, and I'll still be able to open it because the outside material is like shiny, so it doesn't stick as well as it does on paper. But if you have like really strong washi tape, then it'll hold it shut. And I am obsessed with this moon. I found this moon, and then I found this like starburst, I guess you could say, and I put it on top of the moon. And then I had the idea of putting gold on top of that and making my own starburst come off the moon on to the page, and I love how it turned out. This is definitely my favorite month out of the year. Like, I feel like I'm just getting better and better at bullet journaling, and I recently looked at my last year's bullet journal. It wasn't a blank bullet journal, it was a pre-printed, I guess it was more like a planner, but it did have some spaces with bullet journal dots, and it was so funny, like looking at how far I've come. Some of the spreads were horrendous, like my handwriting was so bad, and I'm sure one day, hopefully, I'll look at this and I'll laugh a little bit at this one, and I just hope to get better and better every year. I struggle with coming up. Oh, I needed a break. I was hangry, and this is totally bullet journal related because I bought this piece of chocolate when I was shopping at Joann's, so it's definitely bullet journal related. Completely necessary to show you guys I'm eating chocolate. Now we are on to our thoughts page. This is definitely my favorite thoughts page for my entire bullet journal. Normally I don't put a page border, but I feel like from now on it just makes it look way more put together, so I want to keep making it kind of look like a tarot card each month. And I like having a ton of room for writing, because I just kind of like recapping like what I did for the month, how I feel overall, and it's nice to just have a full page for that. I just talk about when I saw my nieces or nephews, like any events that I did, any doctor appointments for my baby. So yeah, it's really nice having a thoughts page. I really struggle with coming up with quotes or like little blurbs to put in my bullet journal. So part of the printable bullet journal, like the beginning spreads have 20 pages of just how to manifest with the moon, page ideas, like ideas for each specific page. I mean, it's really in depth and it's gonna give you a ton of inspiration to come up with your own designs. So I'm really excited about that. I worked really hard on it, and I didn't just find random quotes online and throw it in there. Like, I really thought about each one, and only went into the journal if it felt right to me. And each month has a specific theme. Like, one, you're focusing on love, another, compassion. So it's definitely dedicated to self-care. And there is a witchy aspect to it because you are manifesting with the moon, but there's 14 pages for each month. So if that's not your thing, you don't have to print those pages. There's tons of pages to choose from. These these habit trackers are so wonky, and I pushed way too hard on the days of the week, but you know what? I'm digging it. It's just a little bit too wonky for me. I'm a stamp newbie. I'll get there someday. What was I gonna say? So I like to keep habit trackers minimal. I don't like to do too many. 4 is like my max habit trackers, and they need to be habit trackers that I don't have to remember to do every day. Like, I can remember the last 3 days if I worked out, if I did my morning routine, if I had my prenatals, because I honestly don't bullet journal every single day. Especially when I spend 4 hours doing this, I'm like done with it for a little bit. Like, I don't even want to look at it. I just spent so much time on it. So I am really excited to use my own printable bullet journal. I'm gonna have a baby in November, so I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do all this. I highly doubt it. I won't be able to do it as much, which makes me a little sad, but I think I'll still be able to bullet journal somewhat. So hopefully I'll still get to do these monthly, at least the monthly setup videos. That would be ideal. And then I have a little to-do box. I don't know how you guys use an A5 bullet journal. I feel like I barely have room in this B5. It's almost the size of a US letter paper, and I feel like I never have enough room. Maybe I just write too big. I don't know. The top right corner is just for my monthly sigil. I hated how my sigil came out on the last month's spread, but this is so cute. I love how it's just a little starburst. And then I'm gonna put my sigil inside the starburst. So I think it'll be like really hidden and no one will even really be able to tell that it's a sigil. So that's cool. This is my recap page, and I almost forgot to put recap like blurbs in there. I just kind of threw in like what I was reading, and I think I put goals. I can't remember. And look how cute these little mushrooms are at the bottom. No way I would have been able to draw those that small below those habit trackers. Luckily I had printed those. Alright, that is it for this month. I don't include weeklies because I don't need to write down what I do every day. I don't actually bullet journal every day. I kind of use this to look back at what I did for the month. Yeah, and I use it to manifest. So thank you so much for watching. I love when you guys comment and interact with me. I love connecting with people who are obsessed with bullet journals just as much as I am. If you know any other witchy channels, I'm really bad at discovering like other YouTubers. So did I say that right? YouTubers. So just drop their names, their account or whatever in the comments. I would love to check them out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Have a blessed day.